Alright, one Sparta 123. Just like my last video, I wanted to kind of film some other videos, but it wouldn't make sense to film those videos before reviewing this stuff. And I've had this stuff for a few years, and I just never did a video on it. So without further ado, this is my Tavor SAR semi-automatic rifle, commonly referred to as a TAR 21 in video games, and it's before the X95. It's the OG. This does have pretty much just about everything you can get for a Tavor aftermarket. Gearhead works rail, M-lock, with a VFG, and there's a Surefire M600 Scout riding in there, which you have to get a small adapter. There's a thread somewhere online about it. It's wearing a Griffin armament, flash comp on it, compensator flash, hider combination. The charging handle, which you can't see, it's on the other side, is the original. I didn't buy the folding one. It is running the Ambi metal safety, which I believe is also by Gearhead Works, either that or Manticore Arms. I forget who makes everything. Again, been a few years. There's a Geisley lightning bow trigger, Geisley trigger pack. The ejection port cover on the other side, I believe, also Gearhead Works or Manticore Arms, whichever one that seals from the gases, as well as has the QD slot in it. That's the one. Real great review, right? And the curved butt pad by whomever makes that. So you guys know, if you guys are watching this, I'm sure you're familiar with all these details, and you can find it real easy just by doing some generic Google searches. And it has a Trigicon MRO riding on top with American Defense Manufacturing quick detach mount, which is pretty close to one of my favorite red dot setups and mounts. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So this rifle has probably 500 to 1,000 rounds through it, more towards the 500 end. I don't shoot this nearly as much as I thought I would, and I'm glad we covered the setup pretty quickly, because I want to kind of spend some more time talking about the whys and so on and so forth. So I originally got this because I didn't want to play the NFA game, and I wanted a package that was going to be equal to a 10.5-inch AR without sacrificing ballistics. You know, all the normal yada yada that people usually get a bullpup for. Small package, good for close quarters, great ballistics, and yeah. Where everything kind of fell apart, and where I don't think this fits into like a good truck, car, trunk, whatever gun. It is, as far as like package and platform goes, it's awesome for that. However, the one thing that keeps me from employing in that kind of role is cost. So everything's said and done, including the cost of the gun, which I got literally at cost, at MAP price. I got probably around 3,000 to 3,500 into this. That's a lot of money to have lying around to me, so I don't leave this in the car. The other thing is I did run this for home defense for quite a while. I kind of started moving away from it just for the same reason that I don't really shoot it that much, and that's because it's not an AR. So I've been raised on the AR family of weapons. I've been shooting those for the longest. They're the most familiar to me. The ergonomics, the handling, all the controls, everything is really familiar to me. And yes, it is a training issue. However, it also does come down to preferences. And to me, I'd rather have a 10.5-inch AR than this setup. We could get into the potential conversations of overzealous prosecutors, but that's not really supported by a whole lot of evidence, and there's both people on both sides of the fence on that. However, yeah, it's too controversial and not enough objective evidence behind it. A lot of it is subjective, so I'm not going to touch that anymore. Aside from that, the rifle is great. It is a little gassy, so you do want to get that ejection port cover, the aftermarket one that seals better. I was getting a bit of gas in my face, similar to if you're running it suppressed, and I have not run this suppressed, and I was still getting that gas in my face. And the one thing I will say, also is if you're going to do anything else, get the Geisley trigger pack and get the Geisley lightning bow. It is night and day difference from what comes in at factory, and to me, that's how the gun should have came. You could get away with doing one over the other, but really, it's like it's night and day difference. I can like literally there is no pull in that trigger. If I actually put it on fire, the only play that you have is the first stage of the trigger. After that, it's the second stage, and for overall, I want to say it's a 3.5 pound pull. It is money. I am a definitely firm believer in Geisley. I want to put Geisley in all the things, and for sure, if you were contemplating getting a trigger for your Tavor or for your X95, go with Geisley. Worth the money. If you guys look out on like some of the Facebook groups or forums, you can get lucky. A lot of the guys end up selling them for a lot less money, so you can pick them up usually for a good price. I always wait for things to go on sale and get a discount code or something to go ahead and grab a good deal and basically make it as close to as easy as possible that if I have to sell it tomorrow, I can kind of make all my money back, if not most of it back. So for a quick comparison, I do have a 10.5-inch AR here handy, so you can kind of see what it looks like as far as difference, and I'm sure that a bunch of people have done this already, but I kind of want to show it, and it's going to be a little bit of a sneak peek of some other stuff that I have to review. So this is a 10.5-inch AR, and I'm trying to get it all in picture so you can see that the Tavor is actually a little bit shorter. Granted, I do have a Surefire 2-port brake on there, so it is a little bit longer than what it actually should be, but you get the general idea. They're pretty similar in length. They're not far off from each other. But this is a 16-inch or 16.5-inch barrel, so you don't compromise ballistics, and you don't have to play the NFA game. And yeah, so the big question is, would I buy this today? Me personally, and if you are like me, and again, you came up on AR family of weapons, that's what you're used to, that's what you prefer. You can shoot other things, but you really prefer and always come back to ARs. No, I probably wouldn't buy this again today. Would I sell it? Probably not. I do like it. I do like the capability of having something as short as a 10.5-inch without having to play the NFA game where I still do have the ballistics. I've been considering using this more for home defense just because it is such a small package and you get the length benefits as well. Or, the ballistic benefits. But yeah, so aside from that, I like this a little bit better than the X95. My brother-in-law does have an X95, and we kind of did, comparisons, and I do prefer this. I do like it the way that it is set up. I like where the light is. The X95, to my knowledge, still doesn't really have any aftermarket rail support. So my brother-in-law actually put his light up on the top rail, and to me it's not as sleek of a design. And yeah, it might serve a purpose, but you kind of run into like, where do I put my pressure pad kind of deal, and this one is very straightforward. Trying to think if there's anything else. No, I mean, I think that's for the most part about it. If you do buy this, also I would suggest buying, I believe it's called the tab tool. It's basically like a little, it's almost like those Allen wrenches that come in the flip out. I'm forgetting what it's called, but it's like almost like a Swiss Army knife, but it has a bunch of tools on it that are very specific to the Tavor, like the barrel unlock tool, and like a small pick to drive pins, a flathead screwdriver, and a socket, and all sorts of stuff. I don't know if a lot of people know, but the front flip up does have actually a tritium insert from factory. But that pretty much wraps it up. So this is Sparta 123 signing out.